Hi guys, welcome to Kevin's, and the first two Fridays are free. I used to say the first two are free, which sounded just
Kevin's
like
free. I like Kevin's free. That's what I told people the name was.
I've been free for a while. I'm the freest I've ever been. I've been free so long, people don't even look at me like I was in jail for 10 years.
I'm terrible because when you said free, my first thought was I at least charge $5. Hey, anyway, we're down here at Will Work for Recovery. That's at 4026 North Washington Avenue behind Minuteman Press. And we look forward to you coming down every single Friday for your experience, strength, and hope. And maybe you'll even come on the show with us. And on Wednesdays, there's another podcast called The Rule 62, in which I am one of the co hosts. I look forward to seeing you there every Wednesday night. Love you guys and have a great show. I gotta go do the podcast. I mean, the karaoke now.
What a multitasker.
Yeah.
Anyways, I have a couple guests tonight. Well, actually, I have an open door policy, but you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Hi, my name is Loren, and I'm a grateful recovering addict and alcoholic and a child of God.
Hi, Loren.
My name is Bree, and I'm recovery.
Hi, my name is Giovanni, embracing serenity.
Yeah, he's got a good vibe. Yeah.
He's got a great vibe. So these guys were asking, like, what's your topic tonight? And like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like, I had a 48-hour work week. I came straight from chainsawing to helping a friend move to a 2.5-hour ride to pick everyone up and then to come here. And so I keep on telling myself I'd like to put together like some stuff that we're going to do on the show, but I also don't want to corner people in and box them into their own recovery. I think people's recovery is amazing, and it should be let be what it is, because if it's working, it's working. So tell me about your guys' recovery.
So I just celebrated.
Get closer to the mic.
Right here. Oh,
Maybe point it at you. I don't know if somebody messed with it. Someone
like
messed
this?
with it.
Yeah.
So I just celebrated 5 years.
Classic.
Yeah, and it's been it's been amazing. It's been amazing. It's been hard, and it's been a journey. I went through all of the things in the beginning, all of the treatments and probations and sober houses and all of the things. And to be where I'm at today, I just never thought I would ever have any of the things that I have today back. Like, it's just crazy. And I think the biggest thing is, my grandkids, I have custody of them, and who would have ever thought that, because, I lost my kids. And so it's just a full circle moment. And to be able to, I just was thinking really quickly about my daughter struggling, and I would think I am so grateful and so glad that I'm sober and that I'm not high with her.
Adding to the problem.
And exactly. And I'm just like, because that happens so much, and I'm just grateful that I can be an example, that I can change, and you can make mistakes and you can come back, because you feel like you can't, and you feel like it's gonna just take forever, or it's just not gonna happen. And gosh, in time it does. And it's just been, I said it on Wednesday, I have a long way to go, and I've worked half the steps. I stopped at 4, and there's things I need to still do, but man, I wouldn't change anything. And it's the people that I've met here along the way, and it's grateful. I'm just grateful.
And you're still clean.
Yeah.
I'm still
You
clean
know, people-
in a row, days in a row, not California sober. I don't knock I don't knock the way anybody,
No.
what they do. For me, I have chosen to be 100% abstinent on everything, and that's what works for me. And it's been great. And I just, man, to go from where I was at, like, man, you just gotta have it, and that's just the life you live. And to now, it's been amazing. So
I love that.
it's
Wonderful.
been hard.
I love that. You know,
But-
I feel like I take that same stance a lot. Like, even though I'm an AA guy and I work the steps and I'm like committed there, I don't always speak about it here because I like to see everybody connecting the way they connect. And I don't always want people to know that there's only one way, because like I train in addiction medicine. And so like when you think about what that means for me is that like you'll never catch me there working up a program somewhere else, right? Because that's not the way that kind of works. And then you think about that, like people are going to make it. They see something they like, and there's so many pathways. It's not just one. You know, I'm solid with my one, but I never push that on anybody. I don't know. Maybe that's just the way my mother and them had put us. So, I mean, it's just great to hear other people with that kind of like humbleness where you're like, I mean, it is what it is. I heard Giovanni tonight speaking about the steps. Which is cool. We love that here. We love that here. We love to hear. Tell
The
us a little bit.
steps are so important.
Yeah, I agree.
We on
They
the
are.
share?
Yeah.
All right. Hello everybody. Giovanni, Embracing Serenity. I'm an alcoholic addict, and I'm a year in recovery. I got a year sober on July 7th.
Yeah.
And
Rock it.
I wanted to share about like what got me to this point and a lot of what I'm trying to do within my recovery and what I hope to continue doing and what I hope to, I don't know, go along with in my journey and what I plan on starting. So when I was 15, I recognized I was struggling with addiction right away. My family is full of addiction and alcoholism. And I just kind of noticed the patterns right away. And I started studying psychology because when I was 15, I was like, I don't want to feel like this for the rest of my life. And I knew I was an addict, like I said, kind of started to embrace that. But I just didn't know how to go about it. I didn't know what to do. I just knew I didn't want to feel this way forever. And so I started looking into different things, reflecting on my life, trying to understand myself. And one thing I really worked on is I've had really bad crippling, almost social anxiety. And I like to bring this up a lot because, I mean, you guys just seen me in the meeting where I was walking around looking people in the eye and making shit awkward on purpose just because I'm trying to prove to people that they have the ability to overcome anything. And for me, like, fear was my thing, you know? I mean, there was a lot of other things, but fear was my thing, especially social anxiety. And now I sit here today and I can stand up in front of 100, 200 people and talk, you know? I don't know. It doesn't matter anymore because I'm willing to embrace it. And a huge portion of why I do what I do and why I get all eccentric when I share is because I want to encourage the youth
Amen.
to stay in recovery. And I feel like when I first started, when I started coming into these meetings, right, I felt bored.
Left out.
Yeah.
Right.
Left out.
Yeah, I felt left out and bored, especially, right? And so the thing is, I'm 23 years old, and I'm like, I want to inspire as many people
Same age as
who
my
are,
daughter.
yeah, I want to inspire as many people who are young to go in these programs and maybe get excited for recovery. Like, that's why I get all eccentric and I'll do a dance move just to make myself embarrassed because I want to show people that fear doesn't have to follow them their whole lives.
I didn't even know what AA was when I was 23 years old. I'm not gonna lie, like
I love that you do. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
like I was a heroin dealer and I hung out with heroin dealers very young, like from a very young age, and it didn't even occur to me that I was going any other route but death. And like I'm 45 right now, and like when I think about like where it all started, I was 12 years old, maybe 11 years old when it all started. By the time I was 23, I was such a mess that you couldn't even tell me that I was a mess. And so when I walk through the college campus, I can see 100 million people that need AA eventually. I'm like, I recognize. I'm like, that's me. We were hung out. Like, it's weird. I can't even party with them anymore.
Yeah.
You know. And so it's such an amazing thing to see young people.
Yeah.
And if you know anything about, there was just a Icky Paw
Yeah.
You know anything about
Icky Paw's
Paw?
awesome.
I don't know what that is.
Icky Paw is young people in AA, and they have a lot of conferences around here. And there's a bunch of people. They intertwined with a lot of the stuff that happens. And so I've met like the president and some of the other people, and they're like amazing. But it's like for the young people in AA
Yeah.
that don't know what to do with them. So like, well, you know, we're here, we're having fun, we're doing things, and then they're all professional. They set up these events. I mean,
They do a lot, yeah.
They have there's a Robbinsdale young people meeting Saturday nights. There's a Wednesday night in Richfield called We Are Not Saints young people meeting, which is awesome.
They had an international convention downtown
Yeah.
last year, and like I walked by. I didn't actually go. I did at the time. I didn't. I might have been broke at the time. Well, which is weird because I just graduated college and I get a lot of money from college, and I'm a full time worker right now, and I was a full time worker then, so I don't know if I'm just cheap or whatever. And I was like $60. I don't know, and I was like busy, but you know, there's a lot of conventions that happen around here that are fun, and there was a lot of cool things happening, and it's cool to see somebody that doesn't know this, and we can be like connect,
Yeah.
connect.
Absolutely
It's
grateful
here.
to be here.
What's going on with you, Lauren?
Loren,
Loren.
grateful. It's okay. Recovering alcoholic and addict. I don't share my experience, strength, and hope a lot, but I will tonight. I feel moved to Holy Spirit speak in and through me. I was one of those people that was in huge denial that I even had a problem. My biggest flaw was being able to point out everybody else's problems except my own. So I could tell you about you, but I didn't see all the destruction that was going on in me. I don't usually share my substance of choice, but my destructive path took place when I got involved with fentanyl and cocaine, and life kind of took a turn there. In 2022, I lost everything: the kids, the husband, the cars, the cats, the dogs, the house. I was walking around outside with a backpack, a tank top, and my pajama pants and shoes that were like a size and a half too big for me under the bridge, no lie. And I was just over it. I was like, I don't know. I just give up, basically. I was like at the point where I was like, I don't even want to live anymore. And it sounds cliche, but this is how it's worked for me. God met me where I was at. And I was like, in a real profound way. And I was like, whoa. And even when he did, even when God met me where I was at, I still ran. I was like, I'm not ready for that yet. So I did a little running. And then I went into treatment. And that's kind of where things took a huge turn. I completed treatment, did some aftercare. I did get a sponsor. I started working them steps. I'm an abstinent person because I have the kind of personality where I'm like, go hard or go home, right? So I have to refrain from everything. I don't do anything, but I don't knock anybody that has multiple paths of recovery. I work in multiple paths of recovery. After working the steps, the promises came true. I was able to rebuild my life. My kids are now in my life. CPS ended up taking my kids, and I ended up getting them back. My son lives with me full time. My husband and I are legally separated, but we co-parent. That was something we never used to do before. I have a 19-year-old graduate. I literally now work with moms that have kids that are in CPS that are looking for reunification, and I help moms reunify with their kids just like other people helped me too. So it has been extremely full circle. I'm very blessed. I am surrounded by women who pray with me and for me. I'm with one of them today. I was a loner and now I have friends. These rooms have provided so much for me in my recovery, and I would never want to look back for anything in the world because I am the happiest I've ever been in my life, even on my bad days. I'm blessed. I'm blessed and highly favored, and I'm very thankful. And I'm thankful for everybody here tonight and every day that you guys come to this meeting. If you can't come to this meeting, come to any meeting. I implore you to. You have friends, people love you, we care for you, and we want to see you in these rooms.
I love that. I always say it's the best day of my life. People will go, "How are you doing?" Oh, it's the best day of my life. I say it so happily, and they look at me like I'm crazy. Like nobody else has said that, and I was like, "Well, I've been under the bridge with a shopping cart and a tarp.
Okay.
And the tarp was made of tinfoil, and I was smoking fentanyl on it, and I cared about nothing else. I'm from Alaska. And so when I say I left Alaska, I went all the way through Washington, Oregon, California, all along the little pathway, and woke up in Minnesota. And like when you can say of the things that have happened to you along that kind of dumbness, every day of your life is the best day of your life if you're not doing that. Like you could, it could be, there could be major problems in my life,
Yeah.
and like it's still the best day of my life. And if it's not, I will probably lie to myself until it is the best day
Okay,
of my life.
make it till you make it.
I'd
It's probably the only time you should lie.
I'd also like to say I actually say the same thing almost every single day. I try to remind myself this is the best day of my
It's the
life,
best day of your life.
because I came to a realization like about a month ago or 2 months ago, and I posted on my social media, and I was like, every experience in which that I have comes with some type of positive. Even if the loss might outweigh the positive, there's always a positive, and I've measured out to 3 types.
Even lessons and problems, we love our lessons and problems.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's attainment or achievement, wisdom or education, or tolerance and resilience.
Love
And
that.
those 3 sections of things out of every single experience in which I've experienced. And because of that, I'm willing to recognize that every day is the best day of my life, because I'm either more resilient, more wise, more educated, more tolerant, or I've achieved more, I've attained more every single day in one way or another, whether I'm willing to recognize it in the moment or not. I can look back and think, well, I made it through that experience and I'm more resilient now.
Yeah.
Or I made it through this experience and I guess I'm a wiser person now. I understand more now about how to proceed in my life whenever I might come across an experience like that, you know? So it's truly every day is the best day of my life, even if I don't experience it in a way where I feel as much joy as the day before.
You are going
Right
to
on.
do great things.
I love
You
that.
are going to be great. You are good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You have a great
I think you should be a
personality, and
motivational speaker,
yes,
for
yes,
sure,
people need
especially
you.
for the
For
youth.
sure. Yes,
Um,
most definitely. And plus you got purple on.
We blew that closer to the mic. It's harder to hear.
Plus you have purple on.
She likes Vikings, so.
Oh,
Um,
I want to mention one thing so I don't forget. I'm an audio engineer, music producer, singer songwriter, but specifically the audio engineer. I'm bringing that up because I can hear the background noise, and maybe I could help you maybe at some point in the future work up.
I want you to know.
Sweet.
I want everyone to know that like they all know that I play music here.
Yeah.
You know, I play the guitar and I have played music for 25 years.
Mhm.
And I'm probably pretty good at setting all that up. But I don't touch much of anything. I turned off the effect. And then honestly, I don't know why Tim has it set the way he has it set.
Okay. Well, if ever you do want to adjust anything, I can
Do
probably help.
you want to know what they want here?
Huh.
They want somebody who knows what they're doing to come up to this and to the PA in there.
and do it.
I would love to help.
Do it. Just do it.
Because right now,
You should
I'm-
come up with Tim.
I would never say this to Big O, but like sometimes the karaoke can be kind of bad because it's not set.
Right. It needs some compression.
It needs
and noise gate.
It needs.
There you go.
It just needs a little finesse,
Mhm.
and it's all there.
I would love to be.
It's all there, and they would love that. Most of the guys that are here that run things, that have power, that say things, would let most anyone who really knows what they're doing play with any of this.
Right, I could also come in on the off time, try something, fix something. change
I mean,
something.
did you hear Big O? Sundays are a great day for cleanup.
Yeah.
You don't have to actually clean up. You can just come in and be like, hey, I want to mess with the sound settings there, and I want to mess with the sound settings there.
Yeah.
Because like no one really knows. Right now, I come here every Friday
Mhm.
and listen to karaoke, and people are amazing.
I'm
Right?
also going to be going to do that. Can't wait.
People are amazing, and the system's not super good right now. And that's amazing to me. That like with what we got and what we're doing in life, it's amazing.
I don't understand that.
I will say I like what you said a second ago about Sunday cleanup. Like that is another essential part of how I continue to stay sober. Like being of service, like
service.
coming in, doing that kind of cleanup, that kind of stuff is awesome.
So I pick
Having it-
trash up
For sure.
sometimes. Like
For sure.
I threw trash on the ground. Like in my dirtiest parts of my addiction, I was the worst. And then I was on a train coming back from California, and I saw the vegetables that our food grows in, and there was like the middle of nowhere, and there was like homeless encampments, and all this like fast food wrappers were being blown into
The soil.
into the plants that we eat that we don't really wash off sometimes, right?
Oh God, I do.
I do.
And
I
like-
wash
and
my
like-
meat.
and like- I know that I do today, but like when I was in my addiction at a place we were cooking meth, there was nothing clean. The microwave wasn't clean, anything, I don't remember. We cooked halibut in a glass bowl with saran wrap in the microwave. It was probably the best halibut I ever had in my lifetime.
That was creative.
I'm not gonna lie. No, seriously, it's the secret Alaska recipe. My friend showed me one day. It was like the butter and the saran wrap pushes and moisturizes it in ways that you can't even imagine. And that's all it takes. The simple little things. Like when you know a few little things, you can go to a campfire and eat good stuff, right?
I go camping. I will go camping. I ain't gonna lie, but I don't know about halibut or how you guys made it. I don't know if I can get down with that.
It's just a whitefish. It's considered the best fish and chips in the world. Like people go there.
I like walleye.
That's Minnesota. I come out here and people are like, "Oh, I don't eat seafood." I don't blame you guys. There's no ocean near here. There's no reason for you guys to be like trying to get crazy.
They have restaurants that have good stuff.
Yeah, but there's no ocean right here. There's no fresh catch, and so like some chef somewhere made something at some point that got somebody sick, and there's enough people.
No,
There's
do you want to know what it was for me? Fishing when I was little. I grew up fishing. And they made me eat fish.
Yeah.
Whenever you have another, whenever you're, what's the one I'm looking for?
Opening.
An opening. That's what I.
Why do you just?
Do you want to get in
Should I?
with the ritual?
Might as well.
All right.
I love having an open door policy. I don't want to kick anyone out.
I love it too. I shared my piece. I will say, I will leave on this note. There's something that I was told once when I first got sober, and I'm going on 3 years now, that has stuck with me, and I continue to utilize it in life every day. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. I like to challenge myself. I like to surround myself with people that intimidate me, that make me want to be better, that inspire me to be better. I get uncomfortable all the time to the point where I'm like anxious and sweating, because that is how I become better, and that is how I learn. People can teach people, and each one teach one, you know what I mean? So thank you for having me on tonight. God bless everybody, and I wish everyone well.
You guys are amazing. It was nice to finally meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
And then
The fish, I was telling you a story about the fish. The fish.
Lorraine.
I grew up going fishing, and my mom made me eat fish, and it was effing disgusting. And I can't, if it smells like fish, anything, just the smell, I can't do it. So, are you staying? You staying? 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm gonna go too, because we're kind of together.
There was supposed to be like 20 people that all came in. Last week I sat and I didn't think anyone was going to come, and like the internet broke.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't know.
The
You know what's
internet
weird? I'm
broke.
like the one person that can handle it too, and I just
Yeah.
He's-
Well, I'm here for it. Well, that's loud. This is my first time
Yeah.
doing this, but Giovanni and I have met thank you.
Yeah.
go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Cassandra, alcoholic.
Hi, Cassandra.
Hey. Today's 110 days sober.
Woo!
5 months in recovery, right? Because you always gotta like remember that relapse and whatnot. But this is going incredibly well for me, like beyond my expectations.
She's doing really well too. First time in recovery. Super, and I mean super dedicated to her recovery. I could tell from the one time I've met her. It's absolutely phenomenal.
I feel like I've opened my eyes for the first time in a new way. And I think this is like, you say so many things in the room, right? But this is truly what I'm grateful for. It's the blessings that we receive between each other. Like, how do I want to say it? Where do I want to start? Like, once I opened my eyes, had my aha moment, right? There's no going back from that. Once you know that you're an alcoholic, that's what it took. Me realizing that at 30 days treatment, and then going, I'm just scratching the surface. Like, I got to go with this. I started listening to what they say, because what they say, they don't say for no reason. Figured that out, and I'm still learning. And so, like, I'll refer to myself as, okay, I was a big sponge when I was drinking all that vodka, right? Just soaking it up. Now I'm a baby sponge. Year one in my infancy in recovery, and I get to rebuild my life around my sobriety, around my recovery, creating a world I don't have to escape. That is goals. That is what I'm doing. I've got all my feelers out into every realm. And people tell me to slow down. No, I won't. Like, I'm excited for this. I won't. I like it. I feel free.
I feel like everything's a suggestion, and people that are telling you stuff are micromanaging your recovery like a boss would. And I have to like take what I can get. I take what I want out of whatever, and you know, because there's a lot of people that'll, unless you're like asking, will try to push a lot of things on you, because we have such a large recovery community here. And for some people, they don't know what you know. I don't know what you know.
Right.
I don't know what got you here. Like, I know what got me here, right?
Right.
And
Right. Well, it took a lot. It wasn't all those big giant things, right? Something in me had to truly, I had to sit in it so painfully, fighting. I was fighting, and I wasn't landing blows. I was swinging. I was fighting for my
No.
life, but I didn't know, and I wasn't hitting it because I didn't even know I was an alcoholic. Once that happened, do over. Act 2. The first act wasn't that good, and now I'm a baby sponge, letting the tides of this community and the people take me through, and I get to filter it, like you said. That's what I'm doing, truly, and growing and learning, and that's what I feel like, and I'm enjoying it very much.
I feel like we wake up and the world doesn't make any sense. Like everything we thought we knew, like we carry with us into our recovery all these things that we thought about ourselves, like, oh, right, this, that, and the other, right? But like realistically, you get to learn how to be a new human being.
It's beautiful. Not a lot of people get that.
And what comes with that is that like you get to be anything you want to be, which means that you can carry all of the bad traits and maybe some of the good traits and still stay sober and maybe not be everything you could be to show the next person what it really takes to do what it really takes to like be happy doing this, right? Because this is the only reason we really started doing this is because we weren't happy anymore, and we forget sometimes that the whole point of all this is to be happy, which means that we take time to do all the things that we want to do when we want to do them. And like there's no better time to do that when you're like living in a GRH house and just got out of treatment and got like a little bit of money coming in, and you're like so grateful because it's more money than we had when we were on the streets, and we didn't have to spend it on the drugs and alcohol that we had, which is weird because for me at some point I was kind of rich, but at some point I had nothing for anything but drugs and alcohol.
Just for booze.
Just
I needed
that's it. Like if I had something, that's what I wanted, and I would spend every last bit of it and make sure I had a pocket full of fentanyl, but I was like homeless on like I don't mean like a little pocket, like I had the kind of pocket that a drug dealer would have.
You're like,
And I was a heroin addict. I loved heroin. I loved heroin for a very long time, and I don't think I ever would have realized it wasn't very good for me until I realized how low I could get because of fentanyl.
Yeah, so there's levels and layers to addiction, right? And that's what keeps us sick. It's our addiction works through us, and it works through us in so many ways. It lies to us so much to the point where we believe the lie. Like if there's a guy to the left of me and a guy to the right of me, and I'm comparing myself to what they're doing and what they're doing, fuck, I got my head above water. I'm in the middle working on it. I'm still doing okay, but I never had any coping skills. I didn't have the education. I didn't have the understanding of my brain, and I certainly did not have the community. The community is that's where I found my understanding of a higher power. So all these things, I'm connecting the dots now. Once I scratched the surface and learned that I'm an alcoholic, I didn't hear it anymore the same way. I used to hear, Cassie, you're a fucking alcoholic. I heard you're Native American, you're conditioned, you're a big bitch, you can handle your shit. Like, that's what I heard. I heard it as a compliment almost. That's how my addiction lied to me and through me to like, you're a fucking badass, you handle your shit, and you work, and you take care of your kids. And then, I only drink twice a month. I'm a mom, that's okay. But it was my remedy. And the liquor was my remedy for everything, and the bar was my therapy. It can't last forever like that. The connection wasn't there, and I was never getting myself. I kept my addiction alive that way by comparing myself to other people till the shit really hit the fan.
I feel like, and I've said this before, and I don't know if they say this anywhere, but to me, chemical addiction is the artificial replacement of light. And until you realize that you don't have that, and when you don't have that anymore, you actually kind of have to replace it with life. And when you realize that, you're crying on an episode of like some Netflix show, and you're like staring up with a real beautiful smile of the sun, and you're like the whole 9 yards.
You like your feelings came back, and you can feel it again. For me, I kind of see that too. Like, okay, so your mind and your body, right? They're suffering. We know that, but the connection with the higher power and whatnot. When that came into play, I was like, man, because I have my feelings back, and my brain and my body can create my mind that can have contact to that. I'm all getting in line. My levels aren't off anymore. The amount of anxiety I feel when I have to go clean up the wreckage, knowing what I know now after they told me I was an alcoholic at 30-day treatment, man, that opened a whole new world for me. When they told me that, and now I'm cleaning up the wreckage, going to court, the amount of anxiety I had in my stomach, I was like, this is all I ever had before. And I would drink to go to court. I would drink to fucking do it. You know what I mean? It was a remedy. My brain was trained. I had to break that cycle with education and support, you know, and get away from it. Oh, to do stuff you like, you were saying.
I just graduated college 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And I found something out recently. Like where I'm from, you don't go to college unless you're like born into it. I'm from a small place in Alaska. And like,
Are you a native brother?
I actually am Ojibwe. That's
Right.
kind of an interesting thing. Just recently through a white Native American history teacher explained to me that Chippewa Cree is the French bastardization, which meant the French called us
Canuck, French Canadian.
Chippewa. Ojibwe was what the white people called us, and Anishinaabe is what we call ourselves. I was born in Montana, but I've been in Alaska for 37 years.
Okay, no, it's just
And so like it's another really interesting thing. Like this has progressed for me. I grew up in Alaska around the Tlinkits and the Shimshan and the Eskimos, and there's like 50 tribes up there, and they're all different, right? Like they're beautiful people, and in their own sense. And like, but I didn't feel culturally accepted. I wandered halfway across the world to the like birthplace or like the Mecca of like Native Americans, and like I'm here. I get to do this Native American program at University of Minnesota in September, which is neat. But back to my great point is that like recently I've met a lot of people that are self-educating, that like have a 10th grade, that's as far as they made it.
I'm
Like,
one
my,
of those people.
My boss, my boss is into stuff, and he reads it, and like he's extremely smart. He owns $1 million company, and that's just my boss right now. We have a new guest too. You can introduce yourself a little bit.
Oh, hi, I'm Mackenzie.
Mackenzie.
I'm Mackenzie.
Should I say anything else? I don't know.
You can say whatever you want.
Yeah, I'm 21 years old. I turned 21 a few months ago, so that's a thing.
It is a thing.
And I moved here from California, Los Angeles.
That's a
where
thing too.
I got sober originally, so
Here or there?
Los Angeles, yeah.
That's crazy.
Mhm.
No one gets clean in LA.
You'd be surprised.
I'm just kidding.
Oh,
I was out in the hills of 29 Palms to go get a kilo of meth for some reason like 5 years ago. Great retarded story about a person who thought that like I do this great. Somehow or another, I jumped a bunch of trains, ended up under a bridge in Seattle with this big pile of drugs, people chasing me, got in a huge fight, ended up in the streets of Portland. But California is a bad place to be. Good for you though.
yeah. I was 18 when I moved out there, and yeah, I moved across the country by myself, and didn't finish school or anything, and I was just like, just gonna go to Los Angeles of all places.
Right. We were just talking to Giovanni about Icky Pop.
Mhm.
And he's like, I didn't know anything. And I'm like, oh no, it's a big deal here. Like the young
Yeah.
people in AA, the different conventions. I could be wrong about that. I've met a bunch of them. I've heard some of them even speak at some of the 12 by 12 AA meetings up there by the CP meeting on Sunday nights that I go to. And it's impressive to hear what young people are doing with recovery. That was very caveman style. You can
Drive
drive
home.
home. I mean, I drive home. I mean, at least I won't be drunk driving home.
And to add on to that, like
Hey, you did a good job tonight, buddy. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good fun, man.
Thank you.
That's how you do this, right?
Yep. You spread love,
He's
truth,
still
light,
doing-
positivity,
he's
and
still doing a good
authenticity.
job.
That was good fun.
Thank you.
You're on. Love you, love you, love you. That was fun.
It's all love.
Right on, bud. Thanks.
For sure. What I was saying there was that especially with the youth thing, and then like I said before when I first came on here, it's really important for the youth to know that there's a place for them in recovery and that sobriety is possible. Like here's the thing is like coming into these rooms when I was 17 for the first time, and like I didn't get sober at 17, but when I first started coming into these rooms, all these people so much older than me, there wasn't almost anybody I came across that was within 5 years of my age, you know.
Giovanni, I love how you looked right at me when you said that.
No, I'm just,
He's like the old
So-
people.
I got told I was, that's how, because I woke up like this, right? I was like still fine and young and this and that. And then I went on my, when I really kicked off my bender, right? And I woke up like, dang, I'm old. And how I got told was when I was my 60 days and I was at Uptown AA and two younger people came in and I was thinking hard about them. You know, everyone's quiet and going around and I'm like, man, it must be really hard to reach them. Like, because I didn't know shit till now. And like, how did I think? So I'm just thinking about them hard. So when they came to me and they asked me like how I did it, you know, I was brief and I started listening and knowing that I wasn't, that I didn't know everything. I started listening to what they say and I expressed the love for the community. And afterwards they came up and gave me a hug, right? She was like, what you said, it means so much. And then like gave me a hug and then the boy came up and he was like, can I give you a hug? I was like, sure. And he was like, man, you're really giving us a message, keeping us young people in this or whatever. And I was like, that's how I got called old. That's how I learned it. you
Oh
guys.
God, I feel bad for the amount of older people I've done that to
I
now.
like, it's officially happy. He was so comfortable telling me that, but and there's a responsibility in it. And you being young, I don't even know your age.
23.
Yeah. See, so I would respectfully, I'd be like, oh, he's a baby still, you know, but you are mindful of even the younger people in our first conversation, our first interaction.
Humble and respectful of both situations, really.
Yes. And you expressed how it was important to you, even to get past your own, to not let yourself get in the way with your own anxiety and stuff, to work on that, because how important it is that you see that. And I really appreciate that.
Yeah. I know for me personally, being like younger in recovery, kind of same thing like what you said, like when I first started coming into, or even just like looking into recovery, I mean, I started by just like following social media people that were sharing it, because obviously it's such a big tool now. And like, funny enough, I went on a podcast a couple of weeks ago of a guy who I've been following when I first started looking into recovery. And then next thing you know, I'm speaking on his show and I was like, that's crazy. But I know for me, that was the thing that was really just like, wow, like there's actually people like getting sober young and staying sober. Cause I think a lot of the stories I had heard, it was a lot of like, you start, go back, start, go back, start, go back. And I was like, is there any world where like, cause I know I turned 21, like a couple, like 2 months out of rehab, I think. And I was stressed. I was just like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. Like, I want to be able to get a legal drink in. And now, like, luckily, thanks to like old time. That feels so rude.
She looked right, she looked right at me.
No, you want to hear something?
For everyone
funny?
listening, she looked right at me.
I'm sorry.
too.
Now it's just because he did it.
But
You
I
wanna
would
hear
call
something
myself
funny?
an elder now, so we'll go with that.
I
I'll
guess I was
embrace
stoned.
it.
You want to hear something really funny? So I turn 45 next week, and I would never wish anybody to have the 32 years on the streets that I had. So every time I hear somebody that's my age say that they got 25 years of recovery, I'm like, wow. Not only like, wow, like something amazing that was a miracle had to happen, because most people are just like, we're a party, and like we're chasing the girls and chasing the guys and all the things that like happen, and you know, giving up on school. Because I live on campus. I've seen a million people that I'm pretty sure either aren't going to make it to AA or are going to make it to AA all the time. Like I know what it looks like when people are partying, and I'm like, oh boy, I'm gonna see you when you're like at your spent. I like hope not, and I hate to say that too. You know, like I would never wish that on anybody.
He's not popping in and out. We're making a good connection, all ages, right? Like we're holding each other. There's something in this community, and we felt it when I was talking to you, like, let's go do open mic. Let's go do something together. Like, I know we're girls and boys, but we can do this. We're like related. Someone told me this, like, we're all related because we were born from the same darkness of addiction, right? And in Native American teachings, that's what we're all relatives, you know? So I really feel that here. It's a gift. But also, we're going to keep it going because we want to. We feel it.
Yeah.
It's going.
Yeah. So
That's good. That's what it's about. I was speaking on that tonight about connection, making connections, right? Like we knew how to do that when, you know, we didn't go out. Like I'm gonna be real, we didn't go out. So, I mean, I did go out and party a lot by myself, but we didn't go out and party up by ourselves. We like had our groups of people that we did it with, and I got really bad. I got super in every form possible, and it was important to have these connections, right? And I got so messed up in it that when I got here, I didn't quite realize how uncomfortable I was needing to connect, right? Like there's a part of me that knew something wasn't right and I didn't feel right. And I didn't start feeling good until, a year in. At least a year in was when I started to realize, for one, that like nobody even knows me in the city. Like I could be anything I want to be. And then I realized that I get to be myself, which I've never been, which means I also get to be whatever I want to be.
So you found
Amen.
your people. You know what I mean? This is, you feel comfortable in the community now, right? Like I took you after a year, but once you like started getting into it, you were good.
I went to a softball game on Sunday. I only know recovery people. Like I
Right.
worked in the recovery room at the college. I train in addiction medicine. I go to meetings, and outside of that, I don't have a lot of people that I know that I normies. Maybe a few college students, that I talk to. They have some form of addiction that they sometimes won't admit to. Like they're clean now, but they're not like in the meetings like everyone else. But I run into people all the time in this big city. We forget how big this city is.
Huge.
When you get around a little bit, you find yourself running into all these people doing the same fun stuff you get to do, like going to the zoo or a museum or some fair or some like great concert. You're like, and what's funny? It's like whenever I get like lost on it, I'm reminded that there's so many people that are doing it. Because we talk about numbers in the addiction world, and we don't have numbers to talk about how many people make it. We have numbers to talk about what people don't make it, because they can't really track the people that make it numbers, because there's no way to track that. We know that a lot of people are making it, and that a lot of those people didn't make it a lot of times. And that's another thing to think about, is that like for me, I wanted this in 2012 when I first came in, and I obviously wasn't ready for it. And I thought I'd been through the worst of the worst of the worst. But,
Okay. So last year I went, and this is not, I don't exaggerate. I don't lie. And I went to jail and detox 10 to 15 times each. Okay.
Yep.
And now that never happened to me like that. It was after I put myself in treatment, and I was like, I'm going to do this. I made it like 3 weeks. They gave me a status of a senior peer with responsibilities. And I was like, I got it. I wasn't learning anything. I just thought I had to do it, and I was capable of it. It's all going to come from me. I didn't have what I have now. That started happening in January. So when I came back out and I was drinking, I'm like, whatever, I'm not physically dependent on it anymore. And I'm just do what I do. I still have that mindset. Like you go to work, you take care of your kids, you just don't drink or whatever. Or if I can drink occasionally, I had no fucking clue. Right. So what rapidly happened, and it took a stick figure on a whiteboard and just the right words. You can tell me to blow on that. It's hot my whole life, right? When are you actually going to do it? First instinct. Your parents been telling you that forever. My dad telling me, take care of number one. And I'm like, Dad, I am, but I got to do this first. I got to do that first. I just got out of detox. I got to secure my truck. I got to get this money. I got to do this real quick. And I'm going back in again. And he kept telling me, take care of number one, look out for yourself. And I am. And I'm like, I'm dealing with different messed up people and situations. And that's why I kept going to jail, right? People, places, and things. But it really was, I was letting myself get in the way because I wasn't seeing it right.
Yeah.
So when he said, take care of number one, then you can take care of 2, 3, and 4. That's when it clicked, because I have 3 daughters. And I was like, oh my God, you're right, Dad. Because if I don't have this body and this mind, I can't even do that. So I do have to take care of myself, right? And that's what got me to go in. That's what got me to realize it.
There's this song that says the people that are talking behind your back are exactly there. They're behind your back. And if you're like a real one that's leveling up all the time,
Yeah.
you wouldn't even really pay any mind to what everyone's saying, because they're going to talk about you because you're making them jealous because you're working on yourself.
Why are you talking
And
about
you're
that?
always leveling up, and you're always doing the
Level
things right, like level up and make yourself happy,
That's
and
what I'm
build your own
doing.
life. And like, man, I went
And
with
continue to spread love and honor and respect everybody, and then allow that to spread. The more you, even because I've been experiencing this a lot, right? But here's the thing is, it's not going to deter me from my mission, which for me is do whatever I can to help people realize they can find comfort in safety and find freedom within their minds. You know, my slogan is free your mind on my social media. By the way, it's Phoenix_aligned. Phoenix spelled FENYXE_aligned. But you know that the whole thing is like, I want people to realize it doesn't matter how old you are. You can find recovery. And if you're not even dealing with addiction and you're just struggling with mental health, I want people to realize they can face their issues and they can overcome them.
In the same way. In fact, it's really interesting. We run a recovery meeting at the college and I did it for the last 2.5 years. And since we're at the college, we can't have an AA meeting or an NA meeting or like any other meeting. They don't allow that kind of stuff, right? So they had to create their own like type of recovery. And then like a lot of people wander in there and they're like, well, you know, and then what you really find is you're sitting with these other people and they're like, God, well, how did she say it? She goes, I'm an advocate for people of recovery. Like I am not a person of addiction, but I'm surrounded by them and I like want to connect in this world. And then it's funny how like those people are just as important because we're all still here for the same thing, right? Like we're still here for the same thing, right? Like the thing is the deepest thing you could ever imagine, right? Like people are suffering.
Yes.
And eventually they're going to realize they don't want to suffer anymore. And you know who helps them? The people that just figured out how not to suffer.
Precisely.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I'm new to recovery and I'm like, okay. I got this offer to do service work. And I don't even know how it goes. I don't even know my steps. I didn't have a sponsor yet. We go down to the encampment and he goes, just be yourself and talk to people. Be myself and talk to people. I'm down there roaming around, giving out cigarettes, letting them use my phone, like, you know, stuff like that, handing out clothes and Gatorades. And it's like, these are the people. And I started talking to this girl and I'm like, look, I can see you. Like we connected over having 3 daughters each, right? And she's all dirty, had tears in her eyes and shit. And I like wiped her nose with my shirt, you know, and I held her hands and I was like, look, I can see you where I am. Meet me for a meeting and I'll show you what I did. I just did this. Like I just literally did this. And I was running around, my clothes all freaking dirty and looking rough and stuff and going to jail and in and out. I looked crazy. I was like a crazy lady, a good person, but like who knows what they thought.
Did you keep any of those
Fuck yeah,
the mug shots?
I went through them today.
The mug shots?
I still have little baggies with all my like little bands and the stuff they took and like you know, all my personal whatever. Oh
I got off the needle in 2016 and like I had some mug shots around that time. I was just looking at them that like today people sometimes don't believe like the way that I carried myself.
Oh my God.
that I did 10 years in jail, that I was like the most wanted criminal in Alaska at some point. Like they were like shouting out on Facebook and arguing with the public who was like, yeah, he's a good guy. I know he's just really in a bad place and like all these things. And I was on the run for a long time, you know, all these like little things. And like, I'm not one of those guys who like, oh, I'll tat it up and join the gangs in there. But you know, at the end of the day, enough like, whatever you call it, when you just do the next thing, you start building little goals, right? Self-efficacy. Like the lights come back on. Like you get that confidence. You guys have got it. Like right now, you're right.
Yeah,
you're like you're in that like beautiful light.
And so like that's what my public defender said. They had to track me down for a warrant, and I was an IOP. I got the warrant issued to me when I was doing my 30 days, and I really didn't know what to do. Now I had been communicating with him, and I thought I could do it from Big Lake, but it was down in Red Wing. Oh fuck! So that's far, and it happened the day before. Anyway, when I went down there after they tracked me down for this warrant, I had those 40 some days, my first real recovery days, and he come out from the judges, whatever. And he's like, he didn't recognize me. And he told the judge that. So now they like look at me. They're like all looking at me based on my mugshot and based on how they see me. Before he said, Your Honor, I didn't even recognize her. She's doing so well. So that, and then the judge saying like, keep doing what you're doing, you know, like it's working. So like 22 months prison is what I was facing. And now it's just going to be a damage to property going to be off my record in 2 years. But that's just, I was like, I don't even care where this takes me, because if it takes me back to jail, I've got recovery. I won't go in there and withdrawal. I won't be in there fucking sick. I won't be in there down in the dumps. I've got what I need to know. And there's like a little treasure chest I can open up anytime, that book, and keep learning and learning. And it only takes 2 people. You know what I mean? So anyway,
I say this a
I
lot.
got what I need for peace now. I feel like, to grow, and you can't take that from me.
That's like a beautiful realization, right? Like that's all of it. And for me to stay where I'm at right now, sometimes I have to be reminded that with all the work I've done, I'm not above anybody, because we're all the same distance from the ditch.
Yep. No matter how far
And
down the
like,
road.
and like it's crazy, because like the young people, the old people and people tend to know the same thing. Like we're all the same distance from the ditch. And I've been in the ditch with my head busted open, blood coming down my head, not know what state I was in.
Right.
Or, you know, which is crazy to say,
Right.
because there was a time in my life when I woke up and I knew I was in Alaska at least. I was like, I don't know what's going on, but like, I don't know. But like I woke up somewhere at one point and had no idea why I was there, why I was bleeding, why I'd walked out to where I'd walked out. I was absolutely sure some people had drugged me. I went on like one of those like, what was it, the hangover journeys, all the way back to the hotel I was at where my stuff was at,
Yeah.
and everyone had not touched it. And I had the realization that I drugged myself so bad that I woke up thinking that somebody had drugged me and walked 15 miles out in the middle of nowhere to somebody poking me with a stick. It was in Springfield, Oregon. It was poking me with a stick. It was on a hazelnut commune where there was like, I swear to this day, it was a religious cult. But I'm pretty sure that it was just a church. But you know, when you wake up like that, like everything's a conspiracy.
For sure. That's a little wicked, right? Yeah.
And nobody would talk to me. I know I looked so bad that when I was like, "Can you tell me where I'm at?" Like they opened their window like this much and parked like 15 feet
Because
back.
that's how you look.
'Cause
You look
that's how I
scary
look.
AF. You were not approachable, man.
Minnesotans would be like, "Oh, I can help you." Like, oh, super nice. Oh, you need a burrito? You know, it's great here.
So, you know, there's one with the recovery time being, you know, we're always one sip away from the ditch. You know, the thing is like, when I got my year tag a couple days ago, I mentioned that this year tag and any tag whatsoever is really something for my ego to attach to, but what it does for other people is give them hope for their own chance at recovery. But for me, it's like, it's something I really try to embrace with it, is that it doesn't mean anything to my life other than that it can help other people feel inspired to change their lives. It's great, it's accomplishment, but at the end of the day, all that matters is it shows other people that it's possible. And for me, all that matters is right here, right now, in which that I'm experiencing.
I have to shout out to Tim Warren, who handed me this portion of the podcast.
Okay.
And he said to me one day when I was sharing in there, and I was like, "I only got like this much time," and he pulled me aside and he was like, "Don't ever say that." He's like, "You carry that proudly, because it's not for you. It's to show the other people what it can look like,
Mhm.
Wow.
because it inspires them."
It does.
That like, because nobody believes that anyone can have any time. Everyone's like, they're all lying. I remember coming in these meetings, like, these people are taking whippets in their cars right before the meeting. They're all loony as all hell. This isn't true. This isn't real. They got to be as miserable as I am. And you know, years later now, I'm like, real happiness can be achieved sometimes, not all the time. I had a bunch of guys yelling at me today for like 8.5 hours, the most strenuous work outside, running up and down, I don't even know, 25-pound chainsaws, usually in both hands, pulling ropes and dropping trees. And nobody talks nice to anybody except for me. I'm the only person that like, but you know, I get to carry this part of who I am into that little moment where I can even show those guys, even if they're not listening, what it looks like, what I've learned. Right. And I just want to say too, we're getting close to time here, or we're a little over time, but
I'm about good here. So
I'm so happy you guys came in.
No, this
Like,
was a really good talk.
Just so you know, your guys' excitement reminds me of my excitement when I was where you guys were at, and it's like feeding me right now.
Yeah.
So as
Amen.
much as you're feeding the other people,
Delicious.
you're also feeding the people that are almost forgot what it is that got them in these rooms and kept them in these rooms and kept them interested to be in these rooms. you know, because I could talk a big game about a lot of things. I had somebody call me a couple weeks ago and be like, oh, someone relapsed and they're not doing good and they're going to call you. And I was like, I just come in after a 14-hour day and I was still covered in sawdust and oil and gas. And I'm like the dirtiest you can be. Like I got a picture somewhere, but like I don't look like this. This like when I get off work. And I was like, I can't deal with it tonight, you know. And like it hurt me later on. And he called anyways. And I wasn't his cup of tea at the time because I went through like what a counselor would go through, like some of the interesting questions. I was like, did you lose your housing? Are you having legal problems? You know, you go through like all these like things, like how do we get you back to a place where you're comfortable? And honestly, another thing that was interesting about the situation was I secretly felt bad for a couple of weeks. My friend's like, you talk a big game all the time. And I was like, I am like overworked and underpaid right now for anything. And I love service and I love helping people.
Well, did you think you were going to solve it all in one conversation? The thing is to make sure that you're saying just the right amount of what they need to hear, because it's not going to, you're not going to change their mind. They got to change their mind. So you just say the best things you can, the next right things, and speak from your heart, right? In those moments, I've had a lot of people reach out to me and I don't know what the fuck to say, but I do. And I leave it at that. I don't try to overdo it. You know what I mean?
No, but I just was saying that my friend made me feel kind of bad that I had said no in the first place. They still called and I still dealt with it.
Yeah.
And I think what was interesting about it is she wanted them to go to detox. And I deal with detox all the time. Like at my house,
I
if
love
someone needs to go to
detox.
detox, I got to drive them there.
This-
And if you've ever driven people to detox endlessly,
Oh, I'm a
you know
mess.
that nobody ever gets out of the car when it's time.
No.
And you've been given this responsibility to bring a drunk person there so they can come back to the house when they get up in the morning, because there's no other possible way for that to happen.
That's why.
And they'll like try to wander off in the street and you got to deal with them like a little baby.
No,
and
that's
for
wild.
4 hours and I
I
do it
hit-
all the time. And like,
I went 10 times last year and I hid booze in the dumpster thinking I was going to come out and get it. They called me, they caught me, they see me. I was in the rain. They're like, Cassie, like they know me if when I call by my voice.
Oh.
That's how many times I went. And so like, but it finally worked and I'm grateful for them. Shout out to Detox and shout out to my public defenders when I write the book. Like seriously, I got to go. You guys, thank you.
I
This
know.
was great.
oh my God, thank you so much.
All
Thank
right,
you.
bye.
Both you guys.
Have a good day.
I'm sweaty.
I also am gonna go.
I know. I'm going to shut the show down. I feel like I had the greatest time tonight. I don't even know if anyone's listening.
Mhm.
It'll be on the internet forever.
Okay.
It's on the Will Work for Recovery site. It's on YouTube and it's on Tim Warren's Facebook
Okay.
and or Tim Warren's YouTube.
All right.
And yeah, I mean, I hope that everyone out there reaches out and helps each other and recognizes, when their buddies need that phone call to be pulled back in and connect,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Spread compassion, truth, love, light, positivity, and authenticity, and be understanding or try to be understanding of people so they know they're not alone.
Shout out to Giovanni, guys. He shared some stuff tonight in the meeting that was impressive, and you'll be seeing more of him out there.
Much love.
Have a good night, everyone. God, how do I shut it down?